and to oppose vehemently this bill. Mr. Speaker, I have been here long enough now, and I can tell you, this is the first time we have come across a bill proposed by the regime in power, a bill that is totally insensitive to the plight of the people. Mr. Speaker, how deceitful can we be? How can you go around the country promising hapless Kenyans, poor Kenyans, heaven, and yet 6-7 months down the road, you come up with a bill that essentially seeks to choke them to death? Mr. Speaker, how can it be possible on earth, Mr. Speaker, that a government can forget about the people, the very people it's supposed to protect, and turn around to actually kill them, literally, Mr. Speaker? Mr. Speaker, it is also the first time that I've witnessed a situation where a bill is being introduced in this House, and somebody, a head of a political party which is in power, issuing threats, open threats to members of parliament, that unless you vote in this direction, you will see. That unless you vote for this bill, you will be in problem. That unless you toe the line, you will know who I am. Mr. Speaker, in which country are we living, Mr. Speaker? If this is not dictatorship, what then is dictatorship, Mr. Speaker? Mr. Speaker, going through this bill, Mr. Speaker, what is that on?
There's a point of order from your colleague.
Honorable Speaker, is it in order for the minority leader to mislead the House that His Excellency the President has said that if you do not pass the bill, you'll know who I am? Can he be able to substantiate those claims, Honorable Speaker?
At no time did he mention
it is actually Tinga that said that, Honorable Speaker.
Order, honorable members. Avoid unhelpful insinuations. The honorable minority leader at no time mentioned the president. He probably is meaning Ichungu or somebody else. Let him continue with his argument.
Mr. Speaker, as usual, I will ignore the Honorable Soro. Mr. Speaker, going through this bill, you see an attempt to not only ridicule the hustlers or the poor Kenyans, but to actually kill them. Why do I say so? Mr. Speaker, we all know that this country lies solely on fuel and petroleum products. Every facet of the economy is driven by fuel and petroleum products. And therefore, the moment you set out to increase VAT on fuel and petroleum products from 8 to 16%, you essentially mean that life, the cost of living is going to skyrocket automatically. Everything in life is going to become more costly, Mr. Speaker. And then you go ahead and remove tax on aircraft, choppers, and spare parts for those funny items. Equipment that are only bought or accessed by the who is who, by the very rich in this country. On the one hand, you overburden the poor person. On the other hand, you lessen the burden on the rich person. So what logic is this, Mr. Speaker? Mr. Speaker, I would have expected, having heard the regime lament that they found empty coffers, I would have expected, and any first-year economics student will tell you, that the logical step the regime should have taken was rationalize the budget, and cut off those areas that are not necessary. But what do you see? The budget has now increased by about 80-something billion shillings, over and above last year's budget. But the increment is driven by consumption. You see the money allocated to the office of the president, the money allocated to the office of the deputy president, the money allocated to the office of the prime cabinet, whatever. Monies that are going to service consumption, to host banquets, to buy flowers, to buy tea, Mr. Speaker. This is a perfect case of a regime which is living on a different universe, not on earth, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, you can go on and on. Take the case of the housing levy. Up to now, including an alleged very killed my good friend, Honorable Kimani Kuria. Up to now, they have refused to define what this animal is. We do not know whether it is a levy, it's a tax, it is a fine, it's a penalty. Nobody knows, Mr. Speaker. And then they come here and want to tell us that they have reduced it from 3% to 1.5%. Mr. Speaker, they have even worsened the situation now. The situation has now worsened because the cap which was there initially of 2,500 has been removed. Now they have targeted even those who are earning bigger salaries more. Now they have attacked the low person, the middle person, and the higher person. Mr. Speaker, let me tell you, in the village where I come from, we have got public servants. We have got employees who have toiled for years. Some of them are left with about 5 years to retire. They have got their own houses, which they have built through different schemes. You want to tell them to part with 1.5% of their pay, Mr. Speaker, to deposit in a scheme who nobody knows the intention about. Mr. Speaker, if you did just basically